Welcome back to another podcast, Web Traders Community from NovaWave. This is podcast 4 in this week's market weekly wrap. So we have done S&P and Nat Gas. So go back. Nasdaq. This is Nasdaq. Go back and do yourself a favor. Look at that for overall markets. Just finished the oil one, and I'd like to separate that between natural gas. Some people ask why I do them separately. Well, they do trade differently, and particularly those that aren't from the energy world, they make the mistake assuming they move together. Very different factors, both seasonality, fundamental, and all those good things also given in effect, technical as well as delivery, settlement, etc., and what actual product you're tiring. So remember, this is not financial advice. If you do need financial advice, get the necessary counsel and advice from experienced advisors, etc., and make your own decisions. You are responsible. What we are doing here is just sharing our knowledge through experience and what other professional traders, etc., are looking for. So without further ado, got that out of the way. So let's look at, I start off with the daily here because that's really what we've been focusing on. So we have this massive triangle that's been building since last year's manic high up to 640. If you remember, that was when basically a lot of the newbies entered the fray, and it was all the first angst with European prices, and a lot of people just, whether they're pumped by things like the CNBC or the FinTwit or whatever, there is a lot of that talking going on. And actually, as I see, the markets have just opened at 5 o'clock. So I was going to say that natural gas depends on whether it gaps up or down. But you can see it's pretty well normal. So that's your big risk on the weekend with weather models. So what we're seeing here, as you can see, is this big pattern. We did have a perfect Adams theory, a fractal here, and minor fractal here. So you look for that type of thing. So clearly we're jammed into this big triangle. It's traded very nicely off the 50. Always look for these spits. If they don't carry forward, that means there's no more pressured selling. Just really simple stuff, right? So that is your daily. That's what we wanted to share. Offer, you do have a twist developing here. If we go to weekly, you can see that even more clearly. That's that big high. That was either a 3 or a 5. Remember, this was a double top going way back into the 90s that we have on the site there. So either that is just like oil, just like spot. They're all kind of the same, really, right? Stock market, all the different risk assets. So this is either your top or a 3. We count down to 3, so this is either a C or a 3. So it would be your 1, but going back up of your 5, very choppy. Or this is your 4, right? So this is what's going on here. If you look at this market, just keep it this simple. I mean, when it's like this, you can extrapolate whatever you want in Elliott wave. So that's why it's just part. I mean, not literally, but you get my point. It's part of this grid. You can see it was an 8-8 split, came down to 1-8. So almost, in fact, if you count that into 8 and count if it's split, almost perfect measured move. And it makes it a lot easier in your 50-50, as Gan would say. Okay, so you've got all this. Perhaps it pushes to the cloud before the next major move. Okay, let's move on to a 240 natty. Where is that? Why do I not have it? So I've been playing with these a little bit. So let's go to, I beg your pardon, let's go turn this into a 240. And so, yeah, this is Sierra charts, which are excellent. Fully recommend using them. I think it's the best value out there, but it's got all the stuff we look at NovaWave, and you're going to get it at fantastic value. And, yeah, we get nothing for it. I just really like the product, like what the guys are trying to do. Okay, so let's turn this in 240. Just go simply there. I like this little aspect. Sometimes we like the random off market, so to get away from, or so we're not actually doing it with the standard algorithms. Okay, so in the 240, you can see you go down to 18. I like a lot of these false breaks as you like. This is almost like looking at NASDAQ, right? Or S&P, that double bottom, testing this previous break. So remember, algorithms run most of this, from weather algorithms to maths to hedging models, etc. So we came down here to test 1/8, and up here you can see 1/8, the plus 1/8, so perfect 8/8, and then we've come back in this move. Count your waves. Look at the combination of your Ichimoku and your Murray. So perfect 5 and a replication of that. But I look at remember a lot of these guys just trade to get zero, like in all markets. Try not to lose. So this went right to the breakdown level. Isn't that crazy? But just simple previous low, couldn't get there, retested it, 1, 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. Very clinical. You had your, through here, it powered up when the tanker went through the Cajun, and you'd already had your double, and you have your measure move. Remember, put it all together with Nova Wave. Okay, so that is about it. I will sharpen it down. If you go, so remember the biggest factors are weather models. This time of the year, we are in the hump season. For want of a better word, look at your LNG and all those factors outside of technicals. So I always look to see what's running it. Well, you can see on the 1 hour, when the 50 is working, keep using it, right? Just keep it all simple. You want to be, and here's again where you want to keep as much clarity as you can and shut out the noise. This is Henry Hub, right? It's not New York. It's not Chicago weathers. It's not those bases. It is not Europe, etc. But that does influence it when the market wants it to. These markets are thinner than normal, as I mentioned on the oil podcast. Well, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found that helpful. If you like what we see, like it, share it, subscribe to us, and I'll try when we have time to whack out a few more of these quick live little snippets. Thanks for your sharing and your updates, and we will see you. Have a great week. Bye now.